So as Nikita said, my name is Samuel and I'm the instructor for the Remarkable Ravioli group. Over this past 3 weeks, they've been working really hard to create a model that will basically predict someone's chances of having cardiovascular disease. And so to kind of kick that off, they created a bit of a trailer using Runway to talk about people's risk for heart disease. I will give a quick note that it was AI generated, so some parts might be a little interesting looking from the visual aspect. But without further ado, I'll start the video.
Sorry to interrupt. Is there no audio?
He hasn't shared the audio, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Oh, did I forget to share the audio? Shoot. All right, hold on. All right, I'm gonna restart it then. Hopefully it should work now. Can you guys hear it? All right, cool. Sorry about that. All right, so that was our trailer. And then I'm going to pass it off to Samson to share our website and everything that my team has been working on this past week.
This is our website. It's about cardiovascular disease. We have a landing page, which we designed to make simplistic in order to help with the user experience. So the first person to present will be Aarav with our problem.
Hi, my name is Aarav. Cardiovascular disease has been a fatal medical problem to patients around the world. Heart disease, stroke, and other illnesses affect the cardiovascular system, causing 19.05 million deaths worldwide annually, of which 1 million occur in the United States, according to the American Heart Association. Based on statistics from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CVD accounted for 1 in 5 US deaths in 2021. Demonstrating the magnitude of this problem. However, due to the availability of statistics on CVD patients, data science could potentially be used to predict the likelihood of CVD occurring and thus could be employed in preventive treatment for patients, which would be beneficial to those afflicted, as over the past 20 to 30 years, preemptive treatment to CVD has halved mortality rates in high-income countries outlined by the AHA. Next is Veeraz.
Thanks, Aarav. My name is Veeraz, and I'm going to start talking about our solution. Basically, our logistic regression model will predict the chance of a user developing cardiovascular disease through statistics from previous patterns. This data includes their general health, their age, their smoking habits, and the presence of other diseases. As Aarav said, this model will show users if they are at risk, allowing them to potentially receive preventive treatment, which can help save their lives. Now, Peter will go over some of our data.
I'm Peter. Samuel, if you want to scroll down. So these two pie charts on the top left show the general health distribution for people with and without heart disease. By comparing these graphs, we can see that people with poor and fair general health have a much higher chance to get heart disease than people with like excellent or very good general health. So the graph on the top right shows the percentage of people in each age category with heart disease. And what's interesting is that it goes up very consistently with higher ages, which means that people with higher ages are much more likely to get heart disease. Next is Kyle with the next 3 graphs.
Hi, my name is Kyle, and I will discuss the next 3 graphs. So one of the most interesting things that we found in our EDA is that arthritis actually has a large impact on the chance of developing CVD. So for people without heart disease, the vast majority of individuals do not have arthritis. However, for people with heart disease, there's a slight more number of people with arthritis. So this indicates that arthritis does have some sort of effect on developing cardiovascular disease. Next, for the graph on the right, we can also see that general health has a large impact on heart disease. And in general, people with poor health have a higher chance of developing heart disease. So for people in the poor health category, roughly 33% of them have heart disease. And that number goes down very quickly as general health becomes better. And lastly, the graph on the bottom right is a correlation map illustrating all of the correlations between the several factors that we used in our cardiovascular disease predictor. And some interesting things to note are that diabetes, arthritis, and general health seem to have the largest impact on developing heart disease. Next is Samson with our predictor.
So for this project, we decided to use a logistic regression model, which allowed us to get a percentage instead of just a classification, which allowed us to provide more recommendations, which you'll see later. And so we basically made a form with these different inputs to be filled out. I have a few patterns we can see for the different qualities. So we'll show you guys both a good one and a pretty bad one. So first, we're going to say, like, they're going to have a good general health. They go to checkups constantly. One thing we saw that was very interesting with checkups was that with less checkups, you have lower disease, lower prediction of heart disease, which is likely, I would say, bias, because that's just due to the fact that there's less readings. Maybe they don't exercise very often, no skin cancer, maybe they've had other kinds of cancer, depression, diabetes, but they haven't had arthritis in their life. A female who has not smoked, that's like, pretty young, so like 32 years old, 70 inches, maybe like 180 pounds. And we see the result, and we see it's only 6%, which we expect because that's pretty low. And then we'll go ahead and show one that's maybe a little more unhealthy, poor health, still goes to see checkups, they don't exercise, they have had all of these afflictions. A male who maybe has had smoking, maybe they're older, so like 80 years of age, 6 feet, so like 72 inches, and maybe pretty overweight at like 250 pounds. And we can see that they have a much higher risk, which is because they have a lot of the symptoms we saw the model predicting. And next is Brian to explain what this means.
My name will be going over our results and recommendations page, which goes over how to prevent, identify, and treat heart disease. So the first thing you will see when you scroll down in this section is a section that gives you your risk category. So as Samson just demonstrated, our model predicted 65%, which we will classify as in the medium risk category, which is anywhere from 41 to 80%. If the model gave something like 20%, this would show low risk, which is from 0 to 40%. And if it gave anything above 80%, this section would have high risk, which is classified as anything 80% or above. And each category, we also give different advice. So for medium risk, we just simply tell them to control their diet and try to lower their sodium and sugar levels. If they were in the low risk category, we would simply just tell them to keep on doing what they are doing and to stay healthy. For the high risk category, we would tell the person to go to a medical professional or the doctor for further advice. The next section we have is about prevention, which goes over preliminary measures to prevent and reduce the risk of heart disease. And this section basically just gives some easily implementable advice to prevent heart disease, such as exercising daily, refraining from smoking, eating with a healthy diet, getting good sleep, and maintaining good mental health. Essentially just maintaining good health, which if you saw our correlation graph, general health has a pretty good correlation with heart disease. The next section we have is a brochure from the American Heart News Association. This brochure gives 5 tips/ways to prevent heart disease. The first tip, as we can see, is about nutrition, which basically states that one should eat a healthier diet that is more nutritious, perhaps eating more vegetables and fruits. The second tip is to exercise, which just says that one should exercise at least 150 minutes a week. The third tip is tobacco, which states that one probably shouldn't smoke tobacco if they want to reduce their risk of heart disease, as smoking tobacco can rapidly deteriorate your general health. The fourth tip is about social determinants, which basically talks about lifestyle and financial situation. The last tip is about aspirin, which says that one probably shouldn't take aspirin unless prescribed by a doctor if they want to reduce their risk of heart disease. In our last section, we go over treatments for heart disease, and these treatments can range from lifestyle and diet changes, such as maintaining a better diet, as I said before, to medication, to surgery, and many other treatments. Some of the most common treatments for heart disease include cholesterol medicine, which can help reduce cholesterol levels, and surgery for blocked arteries, which are a common cause of heart disease. And if you look at the picture attached, it basically shows what a blocked artery looks like. Thank you for listening to our presentation, and feel free to ask any questions.